Hi, the previous class we discussed about the file operations. Now also we will continue with the same thing as most of you has missed the class and we lost the recording. So now onwards for few classes I will try to record prior to the class and we will have a doubt session separately. So let's coming to the file operations. So what is a file operation? Anything that you do with the file normally is nothing but the file operation. For example, I am having some text file. If I want to create some text file, I will open the notepad, I will write some content, and then I will save it. So which is nothing but the file operation. File operation. Similarly, sometimes you will have the existing content. So like this, you will have the existing content, and now you want to read that content. Then also you will use the file operations. In real times, files are used in different ways. They use to store different types of data, like different database configurations, some secret information regarding access keys, etc., and some configuration data. So files are used in different ways. So it's not going to then be like every time we are going to use the Excel file. Sometimes we may use the text file, sometimes we may use the YAML file, sometimes we may use the JSON file, etc. So what are the general operations we do with the file? Sometimes we will open the existing file, we will read the content, and we may copy the content into some other place, etc. Sometimes you will create a new file. Sometimes there is existing data on the file, and now you want to write the extra content into the existing. So previously, I worked for a Morgan Stanley. There, we deals with the hundreds of the exchanges only in the files. It can be the XML file, it can be in the text file, or etc. So everyone, whenever someone wants to buy or sell the shares, that data will be moved into the file, and we will process that file, load the data into the database. So let's come to the expression. So whenever we go for the file, the basic operations we do with the file is opening the file, either reading or writing the data into the file, and closing the file. Closing the file is very, very important for us because in real time there will be some shared files. So whenever there is a shared file among the team, when one person is writing the data into the file, the other person is not able to modify it. That means when we open the file, if you are not able to close that, then it will affect the other persons or other programs who is trying to access the same file. So at a time, most of the times, the shared files at a time, only one person can write the content into the file. If you are able to close that, for if you forgot to close that, then that's all. That will be in the open mode for the long time. No one is able to access that. It will happen sometimes in the real time scenarios. So whenever you open a file, either manually or programmatically, it's your duty to close that file. So for opening the file in Python, we had open keyword. So I will just use open off. I will just use open off. The first argument I need to give is the file name. The second argument I need to give is the mode of the open. Does I want to open it for the reading purpose, or am I opening it for the writing purpose, or am I opening it for the append purpose? So here I have already created some file. So the first target for us, it is going to be find the monthly expenses. So I had some date and I had tiffin, lunch expenses, dinner expenses, snacks expenses, etc. And now I need to find the total expenses in a month. So for that, first I need to open the file. I am using the file open of expenses.txt comma read mode. If you see the open gives me the input output object. You can see it is a IO object. IO means nothing but input. So it says that the name of the file is expenses.txt and mode of it is R, and it also given some encoding to you. The encoding is CP1252. So there are different types of encoding systems: ASCII encoding system, Unicode encoding system, UTF-8 encoding system, UTF-256 encoding system. Like this, there are different types of encoding systems. Now, after opening the file, the data can be transferred from program to the file only in the string format. The to and fro transferring of the data between the files and the Python is possible only in the form of strings. You cannot use any other data format like integer, list, etc. In some cases, you may use it, but it internally converts into the string. So for reading the data, first we will go through the reading. So for reading the data, generally you will have three functions. One is the read, the second one is the read lines, and the third one is the read line. Read is used to read entire file content at a time. While coming to the read lines, it also reads the entire file content at a time, but the outcome of the read lines is finished. So what we'll do is we'll create a list with each line of the data as one element in the list. So in the priority order, first line is going to be the first element in the list, second line is going to be the second element in the list, etc. Anyway, we will see that in some time. The last one is read line. This is more important in the real time. Why? Because in real time, we will have a scenario like our RAM size is going to be 4 GB or 8 GB, but our file size is going to be 10 GB, 20 GB, 30 GB, etc. So if I open the page, so this is our and this is the RAM, and here I will have the hard disk. Hard disk is nothing but the storage of our files. So here I had the 10 GB file and my RAM size is 4 GB. So the complete file I cannot read at a time. So if I want to read the file from the hard disk, the process is going to be like first it will enter into the RAM and then it will go to the processor. That means where our program is running. And if, while writing here also it is going to be the same way. While writing also it is going to be the same way. So if I want to read the entire 10 file at the same time, it is going to be a problem for us. So I will read the data in the chunks. First 1 GB data, I will get into the RAM and then I will process it. Next I will get the next second 1 GB data. Next I will get the third 1 GB data, etc. So I will be proceeding in that format. So for that purpose, read line is going to be useful very well. So now we will see a small example. So I am creating the file object. So when I create the file object, you can see that open of expenses.txt of R, it has given the file object. Now I am reading the data. So now I am reading the data, and whatever the data I read, I am storing into a variable called data. Whatever the content I read, I am storing into a variable called data. And then finally I am closing the file. So if I print the data, you can see that whatever the data available in the file, it has been printed. If I print the raw content, you can see that new line has been there as a slash n. Here the slash n has taken to the new line, but if you really observe, it is there in this format. If you go for the type of the data, the content you read from the file is in the string format. So now based on this file, I want to calculate my monthly expenses. So if I want to calculate my monthly expenses, so first I need to remove the heading. I don't want to worry about my heading. And the second point, I don't want to worry about the date. So I am not calculating anything specific to the date. So I don't want to worry about the date. So these are my the expenses in a particular day. So now for that, first I want to remove the heading. To remove the heading, I will split it based on the slash n. If you see that before the slash n, it is the first line, and from first slash n to the second slash n, it is the second line, and from second slash n to the end, it is the third line. If I add the fourth line, I will have one more slash n. So what I will do is I will split. We have already covered the split function. I will split the data based on slash n. So I am assigning to the after splitting, I am assigning the data to the variable data 1. So now you can see the output of the split is a list where first element is the headings, the second element is the data related to one date, that is second line, and the third element is the third line. So by using the slicing concept, I am just ignoring the first line. So after using the slicing concept, one column, that means from index 1 to till the end of the list, from index 1 to till the end of the list, I am getting the data here. Next, if you see the data 1 of the 0, it is 1 day expense. But in this one, I don't want to worry about the date. Date is not necessary for me because I am not calculating the information based on the date. I am calculating information based on the month. This is the complete month expenses. So I am again using the list comprehension. Here I can use the normal for loop also, but as we are aware of the list comprehension already in the previous classes, I am using the list comprehension. For the first time in the X, in the iteration, I will have this data. So I am splitting that. Based on the space. So when I split this one based on the space, you can see that content, again everything is a string. You have also as the quotes. You can see 20 is inside the quotes, 50 is inside the quotes, 60 is inside the quotes, etc. All these splits and everything I can do in a single line, but better understanding purpose, I am doing in the multiple lines. So if you consider this inside list, in this list, I don't want to worry about the date. That means again I want to perform the slicing. I will take from one column onwards. From index 1 onwards, I need the remaining elements. So I am assigning that data into the data 2 variable. After assigning the data into the data 2 variable, by using the list comprehension again, for in a for loop, I am converting everything into the integer. Finally, I am using sum of data 3, which is nothing but 680. If we have sum all these expenses like 20 plus 50 plus 60 plus 30 plus 100 and 30 plus 60 plus 40 plus 80 plus 60 plus 150, you would have gotten 680. Instead of calculating your manual monthly expenses on daily basis manually, so you are using your program to do that. So we already had some apps in real time to calculate the expenses, like uh, you will enter whenever you spend some amount, you will enter in the app. At the end of the month, it will give you total expenses you have been made. So this also similar to the top, but it is not the exactly. For learning purpose, they are using a part of that. So now, before going for that, we have seen one example and we will dig more deeply into the file. So first I am opening the file. I am opening the file. I am reading the data. Data equal to file underscore obj dot read. If I print the data, I will have the data available in the content. Now, if you see the dir of file object, you will be having many functions. Let me print it normally. So you will be having many options. So one of them is seek, one of them is tell. So it will tell you where your cursor is. One of them is truncate, new lines. So we had a few things. So one is mode, and that one will be closed to check whether his file is closed or not. So one is to close the file, one is to read the content, read line, read lines. So like this we will have most of the things, but we will see one by one now. First, I will tell you about the tell. Tell will tell you the where the cursor position is exactly right now. Before going for the tell, I will if I give data2 is equal to file underscore object dot read, and if I print the data2, it will be the empty string. It will be the empty string. So whenever I open the file, my cursor will be at this location, at the starting location. And when I read the data, cursor will keep on moving character by character, and it will read the entire file. After reading the entire file, cursor will be at this location. After reading the entire file, cursor will be at this location. Now, if I give you those things, print file, print file underscore object dot tell. So you can see that cursor is at location 109. Now I am changing the cursor to 50. So for that I will be using a function called seek. So now I will say file underscore obj dot seek of 50. File underscore obj dot seek of 50. Now I will say data2 equal to file underscore obj dot read, and print file underscore object, sorry, print data2. So you can see that it has given from the second line onwards, because in the first line itself you had 50 characters. In the first line itself you had 50 characters. So now I will change the seek to 100 or some 70. So you can see again you are missing some data, because I changed the seek position, cursor position to this location. Based on the cursor position, from the current position, cursor position to the end of the file, it will read. Read function will always read the content from the current cursor position to the end of the file. So let me close that. File underscore obj dot close. Now again I will open the data and I will show you the cursor position. Immediately after opening the file, the cursor position will be the starting position. The cursor position will be the starting position. You can see the cursor is at 0. And when I use the read function, the cursor moves character by character and it will read the entire content. After reading the entire content, the cursor is at this position. The cursor is at last position. If you have any doubts till here, please provide your doubts in the comment section. I will be answering them. Also, we will be having a separate question and answer sessions. Don't worry about that. Now, we will see the read lines. Now, we will see the read lines. So, I will say f equal to f equal to open of f equal to open of expenses.txt expenses dot txt comma read mode comma read mode. Now I will go ahead and say data equal to f dot read lines f dot read lines f dot close print print data. So whenever you use the read lines, you can observe that your complete content is in the form of list. So this is the first line, this is the second line, and this is the third line. So everything is a string. Everything is a string. So first element is the first line, which is a string. Second element is the second line, which is a string. Third element is the third line, which is a string. Next, we will use the read line. Read line is used to read the file line by line. Used to read the file line by line. So I will go ahead and say f is equal to open of expenses.txt expenses.txt comma read mode while data. So I want to use data while true. I am going for the infinite loop. I am going for the infinite loop while true. Line equal to f dot read line. F dot previous one is read line. The current one is read line. Now I will say if line print line. I am printing the line, and then also I will print the hello to indicate that it will give you line by line read only. Else, if the line is empty, after reading all the lines, you will get the empty none value. So else if there is no any data, else I am coming out of the loop. Else I am coming out of the loop. So here you can see that first I read the first line. After reading the first line, it printed hello. Next, I have read the second line. After reading the second line, it printed hello. Next, I have read the third line. After reading the third line, it printed hello. So with this, we have completed reading action on the file. With this, we have completed reading operations on the file. If you are having any doubts, please post your question in the comments. I will solve your questions in the question and answer section. The next one is write operation. The write operations are write, the write operations are write, used to write string content, string data, string content into file, string content into file. The next one is write lines, used to write list of strings list of strings into a file into a file. And obviously, if you see the file operations, you don't have the function write line. So there is no while writing, it will automatically take care of the sending the content into the file because you are in the CPU. CPU will take care of sending the small content into the file. So now we will use these two functions. The first thing here is whenever you are going for the file operations, whenever you are going for the file operations, especially in the write mode, if the file does not exist, it will create that file. So now I am saying f equal to open of data.txt comma write mode comma write mode print f. I am executing this part. So you can see here there is a file called data. There is a file called data. I am opening that file. You can see there is no any data in the file. Now I will write some content f dot write of hello slash n f dot write of string space 10 space 20 space 30, and I will execute this one also. Still you can see there is no any data in the file after refreshing also. Now what I will do is I will close the file f dot close. After closing the file, if I open this one, you can see data exists. You can see data exists. Your data, whatever the right data, that will be moved into the that will be moved into the file only after closing the file. Until you close the file, it will be in the buffer. Buffer is something like uh, cache memory. Buffer is something like cache memory. So in case if I am opening the file again, if I am opening the existing file in the write mode, if I am opening the existing file in the write mode, all the existing data will be cleared. Whenever I open the file again, existing file in the write mode, you have observed that all the existing data has been cleared. Now I will say f dot write of 10 space 20 space 30. Now I don't want to close the file, but I want to move the buffer content into the file. So for that purpose, I will use the f dot flush. For that purpose, I will use the f dot flush. So now if you have refreshed the file, you had the content. Now as I have now closed the file, I will write one more line f dot write of slash n 20 space 100 space 200, and now I will close the file f dot close. Now if I go ahead and refresh my file, you can see you had the two lines. You can see you had the two lines. Just give me 1 minute. Now we will see the right lines. The right lines. So when I go for the right lines, so I already have mentioned it should contain the list of strings. It should contain the list of strings. So now I will say f is equal to, first I will take the list. So I will take L equal to list of 10 is one string, 10 comma 20 comma 30. 30 wantedly I am taking the integer, it is not a string. Now I will say f equal to open of open of f equal to open of expenses.txt expenses.txt comma write mode f dot write lines f dot write lines of L. You can see write argument must be the string. Write lines internally will call the write function, and for that function we have already mentioned in the start of the class, that is the to and fro transfer of the function should be in the to and fro transfer of the function should be in the form of only strings. Should be in the form of only strings. So write lines, just use the for loop and it will read right line by line. So now again I will take L equal to list of string of 10 comma string of 20 comma string of 30 f dot write of L f dot write of L f dot close. It's not right, it is a string, so I have to use the right lines. Now if I refresh my expenses, as you can see it contains 10, 20, previous one 10, 20, 30. Previously I haven't closed files. First I have written the 10 which is a string, next I have written the 10 which is a string. I haven't closed the file, so the data exists as it is. While writing the 30 I got the error, and from there onwards I have continued again. So how the write lines or read lines work? Especially we will check at the write lines. So whenever I give the write lines, it will go like f is equal to open of expenses dot txt comma write mode. The content in the file will be cleared with this line, and now it will say for x in L, for x in L, f dot write of for x in L, f dot write of x. After coming out of the loop, I will say f dot close. Our write lines is nothing but this for loop. Our write lines is nothing but this for loop. So now you can see it will contain 10, 20, 30. Okay. Append one I am giving you as a homework. Append one I am giving you as a homework. Next one we will see binary files, that is image files. There are some separate libraries to increase the contrast, to decrease the contrast of the images, etc. To increase the brightness, to increase the contrast, to decrease the brightness, to decrease the contrast, to change the shape of the image little bit. So there are various libraries in the Python. So we are not going all of them right now. Anyway, we will not do any one of them in our course. But using the write and read operation, I will see a. So I am opening Python language. So this image I will download it. So save image as, so I'm saying here download.jpg. So I will give inside the batch 30. So now here we have seen that download.jpg file is exit. So if I open the binary file normally, so I will give f is equal to open of download.jpg, download.jpg, comma rb. Sorry, r I am giving. If I say data equal to f dot read, data equal to f dot read, f dot close, print data. So you can see you will get the error because image is a binary file, because image is a binary file. So you have to go ahead and give RB, which is read binary, which is read binary. So for CSV and text files, whatever we do, it will work perfectly. But if you go for the Excel sheets and remain other remaining files like XML, all those things, it will not work because most of those files are the binary files. So there are separate libraries for handling XML file. There is a separate library for handling Excel file. There is a separate library for handling JSON file. There is a separate library. So like that, we will see few of them in the next upcoming classes. So now, if I say this is the data, you can see this complete data is a hexadecimal format, and it is in the binary. Hexadecimal is nothing but a type of binary format. So I cannot understand this thing, but I can copy the data. So what I will do is, again I will give f equal to open of d1.jpg, d1.jpg. Now I will open in the right binary format. I will open in the right binary format. Now I will say f dot write of data. Data is nothing but our previous binary storage variable. Our previous binary storage variable. F dot write of data. F dot close. So now, if we have seen that you had a one my, oh sorry, I have given JPG. Anyway, let's see how the image is. I have to give the JPG. I have given the JPG. So let me correct that JPG. So if I open the file, so it will be the image. So you can see that whatever the file I have downloaded, it is also image. So the only thing I have done here is I have just copied the file from with the renamed the file, copied and renamed the file. That is about file operations. I will come up with the loggings in the next class. Thank you.